G'day, I am BRAK. This is the Breakfast Club. And today we're going to be having a look at Orks in new edition 40k. So what do we know so far?
It's the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, g'day, BRAK here. The new edition is just around the corner. If you don't know about this, you are living under a very big rock. Or you just don't care and trying to get out of your memory. But anyway, it's here. It's coming. There has been a little bit of news about what to expect from Orks in this edition. Not a lot. We're just mainly focusing on the Space Marines and the Tyranids is what you're getting a lot of stuff. But some of the information we're getting from the Warhammer community webpage is there's little bits of tidbits of Orks. Now, a lot of this is older news. I hadn't been able to drop it when we have, but I thought so yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to drop the stuff to talk about this stuff when it came out. Sometimes it was only just a line, so it didn't really warrant it. So I've just been waiting to see if there's more stuff to get enough to make a little bit more content out of it. And so we're just going to go through it, have a look. And I'm talking about the rules that we may only see in a codex, not core rules or any other special rules or things like that. All right, stop rambling, BRAK, and let's have a little look. So the first thing we basically saw when it came to new Ork rules was in here. So on the 13th of April, this little thing dropped out. Vehicles are even tougher in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Now this mainly covered Space Marines, as they do. So this little paragraph basically saying that in this current edition, armies can just just take away vehicles. So one of the new focuses is going to be to make those units, the tanks, more tankier. So that's really, really good. So more durability, which I would love to see. There's nothing worse than have a nice big vehicle to do some damage and it gets taken away first turn. I'm thinking kill rigs. But anyway, almost every vehicle has received a bump in toughness. So while toughness 9 used to be the highest you'll ever see in a game, in the new edition, you can find units like the Ork Stomper with a toughness as high as 14. So that's it. That's what I was going to show you. That's the Ork rule that we're going to see. Ork Stompers have a toughness of 14. So I'm not quite sure what that's going to mean. Well, we know it's the highest. It's the strongest. What does that mean for other Ork vehicles? We're not quite sure. That's the first rule. Well, I'm taking that. That's really, really good. If I was to hazard a guess, I'd say trucks would probably be around 8. They won't be as tough as a Rhino, so they'll be 8. I don't think they'll be the 7 like they currently were because they're trying to make them more durable. Battle wagons, hopefully they'll be a bit more tougher. So maybe around the 12 mark. That would be great. This is just pure speculation. I don't know. So the next piece of Orky news we had was in here. The new edition of Warhammer 40,000, which makes all the phases count. So this article is basically about what to expect from phases and when they happen and the type of phases that we have, which we can see down here. So we've got these phases here. So what battle rounds are going to look like. There's a command phase, there's a movement phase, there's a shooting phase, there's a charge phase, and there's a fight phase. But what there isn't is a psychic phase. So what's going to happen here? And they told us in this little paragraph here. So what's changed? The psychic phase and the morale phase are now no more. But that doesn't mean that psychic powers and morale are gone. The effects are still very much present and they have been smartly compressed into other phases. So basically what it's going to happen, that if the psychic phase you've got is going to be basically, so if it's a shooting type ability, it's going to go on the shooting phase. If it's a movement type ability, it's going to go on movement. If it's a smashy hitty type ability, it's going to go into the fight phase. and we see the librarian and all that sort of stuff. And what we then see here is what they gave us was all the stuff you need to know about the weird boy. So we've got here the orc weird boy, on the other hand, can't be bothered with anything so, what a stupid word, quotidian as a gun? Go. Just say you just can't bother with a gun. Bother with your shooter. But his headbanger, shooting attack, grows in power and volatility. So power and strength according to how many boys he has in his entourage. So we do know from some of the rules that leaders can actually join troops, or join other units. Let's have a look at this. Now, you've seen it all before. I'm just going to have a little talk about it. It's been around. Everyone's talked about it. There's a lot about it. So I'm just going to go over some of the things that I think's really, really interesting. So let's have a look at the stat line first. The weird boy, 6 inches, toughness 5, saving 5 up. Wounds 4, leadership 7+, OC is 1. Now OC is objective control. New rules with controlling objectives. If you have the higher your OC number, means that you've got a better chance of controlling the objective. Stat line, most of it's not much change, but there's 2 changes of note. The movement 6 inches. And a saving of 6+. Now, will those be across the board? I think so. I really, really think so. So I think movement is definitely going to go up to the way it used to be before 9th drop. So 6-inch moves be fantastic. I remember in the past. I really didn't like them in the last edition where we only had 5 inches or 4 inches in some cases. So they're fixing what I thought was an absolute tragedy in 9th edition. The save. Now, will it be a crossboard? I hope so. Or they might decide that if you're a bit bigger, you might have a better save. I suspect that they're going to try and make most of the models more durable in the future. That is the reason why I think that all units, except for Gretchen, will have a 5-up save for the durability factor. They did make it tougher. Last edition, all orcs were toughness 5 across the board in most cases. So they can't really make it more durable by changing that. So they've gone through the saving phase. So yeah, that's what I think. They've got some other things here, really interesting. So we'll have a look at the War energies. While this model is leading a unit, add 1 to the strength and damage characteristics of this model. Headbanger weapon for every 5 models in that unit, rounding down. But while that unit contains 10 or more, that weapon has the hazardous ability. So we've got this Headbanger, which is psychic power. It's a ranged weapon, attack 1. Hitting on 4s, so 50% chance there. Strength 6 and damage 1. So add strength and damage. So for every 5 models, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's an extra 6 to the strength and an extra 6 to the damage. Yeah, but there's going to be a payoff with that, isn't it? And that's this hazardous ability, which is most likely going to be either if you roll a 1 or maybe even a 1 or a 2, it's maybe taken off the board, or there may be mortal wounds involved. That's usually what happens, and I can't see them really changing that. There's something interesting about here, like so we've got this while this model is leading a unit. So if you want to get better bang out of your buck, you're gonna want to give him to a unit anyway. And also, so let's go to the jump. So once per turn, at the end of your movement phase, 1 weird boy in your army can use this ability. If he does, roll 1d6 for that weird boy's unit. Suffers d6 mortal wounds, and on a 2+, remove the weird boy's unit from the battlefield and set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy models. Now, that's really interesting. So this means, you're going to get bang for your buck again, back to the unit. Like, you could have him by himself, but he's not as strong. He needs his friends. The other little interesting thing here is that the battlefield is more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy models. Not vertically, not diagonally, but horizontally. So you're going to have to put them right out in front and not the side and not sneak in behind. If I'm reading this right, and let's face it, with all the rules lawyers there are out there, they're going to be saying that, aren't they? So that is really, really interesting and going to really change the dynamic of the game. So maybe no more sneaking behind unless they leave 9 inches horizontal behind there. A new player might do that. A seasoned player, you're not going to see that. And so that's really, really interesting stuff. So yeah, this is great. So looking at the wee boy alone, it's fantastic. Can we make any other assumptions about other units, especially other psychic abilities? Will there be more psychic abilities? I think so. Don't be surprised if the Werboy and the Killrig and maybe other psychic units, there could be. We do know that there are going to be new models and new units coming. So I would expect that the Werboy has his own powers and the Killrig has his own special powers too. What they are, we have to wait and see. So yeah, exciting stuff. Really, really exciting stuff. I saw this and I went, yes, yes, yes. This is going to be great. I've got me really excited about 10. So the very next day, the Warhammer community site talked about transports are the fast and flexible way to travel in the new edition style. So, and this is really, really interesting. So they're sort of saying that, yeah, so they're going to bring transports back, which is great for me because I like boys in trucks. Does that? Yeah. Will we still? So we'll probably have to see things like truck boys in the current rule. I don't be surprised that's all gone because transports will be able to do very interesting things like get up and get out. We're talking about firing from a vehicle. In the past, certain open-topped vehicles allowed the troops inside to fire out, and now has been consolidated into a universal firing deck X rule. So that basically means if you've got an X, whatever the number is going to be, that's how many models can shoot out of it. And there's a look at the rule there. So that's great. This is so when you've got a transport like a truck, got some guys inside, you fire whatever the truck weapons are, and then you can fire all little guys inside. Well, you can fire a number, whatever the X number is for trucks, we don't know. Previously, BRAK troops couldn't benefit from buffs, but now, because the transport itself is making the attack, their weapons gain any boost the vehicle does. And this is the important thing. For instance, an Ork mech can use his Mechaniac ability to act as a powerful force multiplier for the Battle Wagon's monstrous firing deck 22. So what does this tell us? This tells us that you can put 22 models in a Battle Wagon. Yeah, woohoo! So you can put a mech in there and maybe 2 lots of 10 units of things like looters, tank busters, flash kits. Wow, and whatever their ability is, so we can act as a powerful force multiplier. So what can the mech do? Let's have a little look. The Mechaniac. At the end of your movement phase, you can select one friendly Orks vehicle model within 3 inches of this model. That vehicle model gains up to D3 lost wounds. So you can fix it, make it more until the start of your next movement phase. Each time that vehicle model makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Each model can only be selected for this ability once per turn. The truck gets a +1, and all the little guys inside, or even if it's in a battle wagon, let's go for the battle wagon because we know that the trucks will have that ability. But we know for certain. So if you've got 20 tank busters or 20 flash kits or 20 looters, whatever weapons they've got, you get an extra BS. And we know that with the Weird Boy, he's got a 4+ ballistic skill, hasn't he, for his headbanger. So maybe leaders have 4+. Flash kits still might. Let's assume that they're not going to change the ballistic skills on most of these things. So we're going from 5+ to 4+, in some instances from 4+ to 3+. That's great. So what is this going to mean? I think we're going to see, if you are going to run vehicles, you're going to see more mechs. So mechs in trucks, mechs in battle wagons, maybe mechs following dreadnoughts, cans, assuming that mechs can fix cans, stompers, that sort of thing. Now, another easy assumption to make is that the big mechs will have an ability similar but probably better. It'll be probably 3 wounds, or straight up 3 wounds, or maybe D6 +1 or something like that. But it will be better, and if they can actually, they might be able to do more for the vehicle's shooting abilities. There could be that as well, but we won't know. That's pure speculation until then, so until we find out more. So the last piece of information, which I can make some assumptions about Ork rules, sort of at a pinch, was this, the rumour engine that came out on the 25th of April. And so there are a lot of gizmos in Warhammer, blah, 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 thimbigobs, and it's been a little while since the rumour engine has beamed us through a really classic whatchamacallit such as this. So it is a classic. We have seen it before. And where have we seen it? We've seen it in here on the shock attack gun. This is the shock attack rifle. So what does this mean? I suspect that we're going to see we know there's going to be new models coming with the new Codex, which is not going to see until in about a year's time. Those new models may have this weapon attached to them. Some people have been saying tank busters because they want to see tank busters. Tank busters need an upgrade because they're still in failcast. So it'd be great to see plastic tank busters again. Or we could see new dreadnoughts. Look, my gut feeling, I've been wrong about this before. I'm not very good at predictions, but don't be surprised. New weapon loadouts on trucks and battle wagons, and we'll probably see, I think we're going to be seeing new trucks and possibly new battle wagons. They are a bit old, and I wouldn't be surprised they want to do that to sort of protect their IP a bit as well, but that's another video. So yeah, that's going to be my prediction. I'm not very good at the predictions. And yeah, so this is what we've seen so far. That's what we've seen so far up to date. As time I was recording this, I know this is sort of old news, but I want to go through. I really want to talk about it, get it out there, because I want to go back and start talking about these new rules as they come along. So this is sort of me. I'll try and jump on these things a little bit better. I'm still having a lot of connection issues at the moment, living out in the bush. But I'm going to try and get it out as quickly as possible when these new things arrive. So please bear with me, and it's not going to be until around about October when the NBN comes in, and when I'll have optic fibre to the house. That's going to be great, optic fibre to the house. So I'll be able to do way more, and this is really what. And it's sort of the reason why I haven't been doing lives lately. But anyway, I've gone off tangent. We're talking about, look, I'm really, really excited. Really excited about this. The new Orks. What they're going to happen. And I can't wait. I really can't wait. And it's going to be so much fun. So what do you think? Oh, before we go to anything, if I've missed anything, please let me know. Let's have a conversation about it. We can do that further, or you'd like to say, hey, BRAK, talk about this, and I can do that too. But so, what do you think? Are you excited for the Orks in new edition 10, or are you sort of, man, I'm going to go away and play something else? Comment below. Let's have a conversation. But until then, if you are going crumping, remember, you've got to bash early and bash often. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like, subscribe and share, and also press that notification bell so you get to see more of my videos. If you want to get social with BRAK, well then, down in the link below, there are all those wonderful platforms that I'm on, and there's even a few where you can donate to, like Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. Once again, thanks for watching, and catch you later.